Hello, people of the internet. Today I'm going to be talking about my all-time favorite young adult novel, which is Scarlet by A.C. Gothen. Can you see it? There you go. This is a story that was published in 2012, and it is a retelling of Robin Hood and his band of thieves, but with a twist that not many people would expect. It is all done in first-person point of view and through the eyes of Will Scarlet. And Will Scarlet actually has their own secret because they are actually a she. Yes, Will Scarlet is a girl hiding amongst the band of thieves, who are the only other ones in Nottinghamshire who know that she's a girl, working together with the band to save the townspeople from the sheriff, who keeps overtaxing them and who is now actually taking collateral by stealing people's children and throwing them in prison and threatening to hang them all on tax day if they can't pay. Now, the thing that's really interesting is the back of the book says, "No one really knows about me. I'm Rob's secret. I'm his informant. I'm his shadow in dark places. No one ever takes me for more than a knockabout lad, a whip of a boy they never really see." Because no one really ever notices that Scarlet's actually a girl. And I think that's important because in this society, medieval society, women are seen mostly as housewives, as property owned by men, and they're not really they aren't seen to have a voice. They aren't seen as anything more than basically decoration. And Scarlet wants to be taken seriously. She wants to be taken as she's one of the boys, she's one of her boys, and just because she's a girl, she can still fight, she can still protect herself, she's still a warrior. Now, the entire story is, like I said, Robin and the band trying to save the people from the sheriff who's overtaxing them, but because they continuously steal from the rich and give to the poor, the sheriff is now starting to get furious. So he's hiring mercenaries to come try to get rid of the band. But one of the mercenaries he hires is named Guy Gisborne. And Guy actually knows Scarlet's secret. Well, he knows Scarlet's a girl, and he holds keys to a past that Scarlet has actually been desperately trying to hide since she first came to Nottinghamshire and joined Robin and his boys. Well, she also has a little bit of a secret on top of being a girl and this past that she doesn't want anyone to know. She also is a little bit in love with Robin Hood. But what's interesting about the play A.C. Gothen does on this is the fact that even though Scarlet has this crush and love for Robin, it doesn't get in her way. You'll see a lot of the times in a lot of stories where they'll say, "Oh yeah, well the girl is this badass who can go and shoot arrows and fight with swords and all this stuff, but as soon as she meets her guy, she's no good to anybody." Well, A.C. Gothen doesn't do that with Scarlet. She is determined to her love for Rob actually drives her. It is the thing that she's like, I'm not gonna let anything happen to this guy. I care about him too much. So she actually does every single thing in her power to protect him and keep him safe and keep her boys safe because she loves John Little and Much. They're like brothers to her, they're family, and she's not gonna let anything happen to them. But Robin, she cares a little bit deeper for. And I think it's neat that it's her driving force. It is not only trying to keep this secret, but she doesn't want anyone else to get hurt because of her. And she definitely doesn't want to lose Robin because of herself either. And so she's really doing her best to help them fight, help them win, and keep who she cares most close and safe. Now, this book also is really interesting because you can read it 1,000 times and it never gets old. It still is always exciting. I mean, anytime I'm sad or I just need something to read, I can just read this, and it's very inspiring. Just reading it, and it's all in the point of view of Scarlet, and you can just feel her emotion, you can feel her voice, you can just hear her, you can see what she's seeing, and it's just beautifully written. A.C. Gothen has definitely done a very good job with this. Now, she has a second book out called Lady Thief, and a third book out called Lionheart. And so this is actually a trilogy of books. And I have read Lady Thief, and the sad thing I will say about Lady Thief is it's not as good as this. I feel like I mean, A.C. Coffin is a new author. This was her debut book. The one thing I will notice a lot of people run into trouble with when they do trilogies is sometimes you don't really know how to space out the story. And while Lady Thief is beautifully written, it's wonderfully written. I mean, I still love Scarlet, still love Robin, still love all the boys. They go through the whole um, trial where Robin's trying to become sheriff. They go through all of that, like in the old Robin Hood story, with twists and things you'd never expect. It is a little bit darker than this one. It does get a little bit more intense. But I will say, it's like she didn't really uh, space out the story very well. While this one could be a standalone book, you could read it over and over again. You never have to read any other books in the trilogy, and you still feel like it ended well. Um, Lady Thief ends on the you have to read the next one. It's not really as good of an ending as this one is where you're like, oh yeah, I'm satisfied with it, and but I want to know more about this world. I want to know more about the characters, so I'm going to go read the next one. That one is like you just kind of get led along with so many open ends and so many open cliffhangers. So that is something, if you read this, love it, and want to go check that one out. It is something to look for, to be like, okay, it's not going to end this way. I mean, it's not any less good. This is still amazing, and Lady Thief is still amazing, but you just got to be prepared for the way they end. Now, the thing about A.C. Goffin is she also won a couple awards for this, mostly just being on lists, but any acknowledgement for your work is good acknowledgement, because, I mean, come on, there's like 300 some pages that she spent about 6 months of her life slaving over. It's like, you want some acknowledgement for that. She got the YALSA Best Fiction for Young Adults list. She got on the ALA Amelia Bloomer list and the Book List Top 10 Historical Fiction for Youth. I think that's very good, especially for her debut novel, to get that much. And she was originally going to just leave this as a standalone book too, but people loved it so much she decided to turn it into a trilogy. I think like I said, I do think she should have been a little bit more careful with the way she did the trilogy, but you learn, you live and you learn. So, but yeah, I personally think that anybody who loves fiction books and who loves good female protagonists, pick this book up. It is amazing. It is wonderful. You'll never be able to put down. I mean, I read this in maybe 3 days. The first time I got it, it was just that good. I would read it through school. I would read it through every break I had. I mean, I was reading this when I was in high school, and it was absolutely amazing. This is just one of the best books I've ever read, not written, but it is just great. I mean, and I want to be an aspiring author, and this is the thing that makes me want to do this, because when you can read something and it makes you want to pick it up over and over and over and over and over again, and it is just so good, and you just love it so much. This is what it means to be a writer. Like, A.C. Goffin did a fantastic job. So I really think that anybody who wants to, go check this out, read it. It is amazing. It'll be the first book on your bookshelf. Honestly, you'll be telling all your friends to read it. Well, that is all for now, and hopefully you guys